Hi you guys, I haven't posted anything in a really long time, but I am here today to talk to you about a musical that is currently exploding on Broadway, exploding on the charts, the iTunes charts. It's like the most bought musical album in like decades or something. Everybody loves it, but not everybody is fortunate enough to get to go see it live. And lo and behold, guess who gosh darn did. Last spring, I was in New York, we were seeing shows, and somebody told us that we gotta go take a chance and see this show called Dear Evan Hansen, which nobody knew about yet, nobody cared about it, so it wasn't $3 million. It was off-Broadway. We were like, this is interesting, somebody just like swore on their mother's grave that it's really good, so we went and saw it. It was like very like not in a big theater, it was small. There were like 200 people probably total. There were like lots of old people retired in New York like going and seeing where they can throw their money. Like it was really low key. And we get in there and the seats that we randomly got were in the very back at the top, but the theater was shaped like just like the audience was just one square, so that was like a beautiful seat. There were like people like right next to us and behind us, like official looking people, like scribbling the notes and stuff with like pen and paper, and we're like, ooh, is that, ooh, do they work for, ooh, look at that, do they work for it? Intermission happened, and you could just hear like like there was not a dry eye in the room, and it was pretty sad. The orchestra, which was just a small orchestra, the small band was like up in the air on the stage, like on stage right and up. Part of what was so, the design of the set was so calming and like simple, like you were either in the screen world with all the screens behind them, or you were in a living room of one of the two families. Like there was no, at the end there was a sort of a projection of like a spring day, like when everything is getting wrapped up, and it sort of was a third visual, but for the whole show it was just switching back and forth. I've never seen teenagers represented so clearly. I'm gonna put this back on. So clearly and so truly on stage. Never have I ever seen such a precise and meaningful commentary on social media that wasn't just,
don't use social media, live in the now.
Like, that's not what it was saying. It was saying, here's a real life, like, home-hitting example of how social media is not used correctly a lot of the time. It's not okay to sell things about someone who lived a tragedy. It's not okay to gain ad revenue from something awful that happened for your own personal gain. It's like, oh, it was so smart, and it made sense to people who aren't in the world of social media. To the old people who saw the show, they still understood that these kids were exploiting Connor after he was gone. Another reason it's just absolutely brilliant is how Evan is both your hero and your villain. He is the one who does something wrong the entire time. Who else does something wrong? Connor? No, he was mentally ill. It's all Evan. I mean, the other teenagers like doing the social media thing, they did not do. They were doing something bad, but Evan was in on it. Evan is the problem. Evan is the liar. But you're still, Ben Platt makes you so connected to him that you just like, and that happens every day in the real world, that it's like they made this character a real person who, you know, it's the one you're supposed to love and connect to because he's the title of the, that's his name. He's the main character. But he's also like, can you blame him for being so lonely and so friendless? Like, it's just so sad and so good. They did such a good job. They did such a good job. Another artistic choice that made me breathe and live once more was how they let Connor be on stage after he's died, because when you die, it's like 10 minutes into the play and you're like, what? But I liked him. Like, it makes you, you're like, well, now I never get to see him again. But no, he's incorporated, he's on stage dancing, and it just makes the fact that you see him vividly on stage in moments of the show after he's died just makes you remember how gross it is that Evan is taking advantage of his death. Like, you don't forget to like feel bad about what you can't forget that what Evan's doing is gross because you see Connor like there. Something that I'm not sure if I liked at all about the direction that they took it in at the end was that like Evan at the beginning seems like he really is socially, like he can't talk to anybody, like he's really stuttering, he's really not getting out of his room and really not making friends, doesn't know how to communicate with people. The whole time he's really awkward, and you think maybe this has something to do with autism, maybe he has Asperger's syndrome, like you think maybe that's a part of it. And it's interesting that he can, you know, find this girlfriend and all these things, and you're like, this is cool that they're incorporating that. That's what I thought the whole time. And then at the end he walks out and he's like a dude, like he's just like a normal guy, like completely all the stuttering is gone. I mean, this is like a flash to the future moment happened at the end where he's like an adult, like he was just solved. I'm completely typical now. And it was like, was that representation at the beginning where he didn't talk to anybody and he was just stuttering? Was that depression? Was that just because of his stutter? Was that him being anxious? Like you can't, the message about what's going on in Evan's head is confusing when the end scene happens. Nonetheless, it made me cry the whole time. It was like it was just so brilliant. My foot's asleep. My only other complaint, was the glove metaphor, because it's like, we get it. The song about the glove, like when I listened to the album now and when I was sitting there listening to it, I was like, this is not necessary. Nobody cares about you, Dad. Like it did not need to be there. And I also, the two moms, like I understand that there's supposed to be a parallel between the Murphys and the Hansens, but like, did it have to be, could the moms have been more different, please? You know, or at least physically they looked like the same woman with two costumes on. Maybe they had different colored hair. I don't know, it was a year ago, but you know what I mean. It's like, huh? Why? Why do they have to be the same? We, unbeknownst to us, got to have a talk back with the director. And not the cast, just the director and some other assistant too. And all the old people around me answered questions. Nobody really had any questions because the show is so complete and so well done, and nobody's about to ask the director a sassy question or something. It was just kind of a lot of old ladies going, he was so wonderful, where did you find that boy? Like it was just that for half an hour. And he was talking about how the show used to be somewhere else. I kind of forgot everything he said because I was still crying from how amazing the show was. And we got out of the theater. We went down the stairs and went outside, and we were standing there outside the theater, and he was like 10 feet away from me. And it was late at night because it was a show at night, and he was so swarmed by these old ladies. And if he had just been standing there alone, or if there had been one old lady, I would have gone up to him and been like, I love you, can I have a picture? But like you could just see how tired he was, and you could see how much he didn't want to be talking. I mean, he was nice, of course he was nice, and he waited for them, but you could just, you know, when somebody's like, I just want to go to bed. And I was like, I'm not gonna make him stand here and talk to me. But so I basically missed like what could have been the best moment of my life. I did buy this hat, and when in Rome, I did buy this. I never wear the hat because I feel annoying in it, but I do use this every day because I love him. Putting this down. Why I made this video, also why I thought of it, is that I commented on the Seth Meyers performance of Dear Evan Hansen, and I said, I saw this, it's amazing, please go. I'll put a picture here, and now I'm famous because I got a bunch of likes. So Ben, I love you. I've listened to If I Could Tell Her thousands of times. It's very next to normal. It's very Modern Family. Not like the TV show. I meant like the literal Modern Family. It features the single mom and the awkward kid without friends, and the kid who commits suicide because of mental illness. Is just very important. I'm passing a paw. You've done it again. A+, thank you. If you're in New York, go see it. I'm really grateful I got to see it before it cost $7,000 per ticket. You should subscribe to me. I don't know how often I'm gonna make videos because I get nervous and I think they're gonna be bad. So, I'm just subscribe in case I do. Goodbye. Dear Evan Hansen, I'm in da-da-da-da-da. Get Evan Hansen. Where's the stop? Where's the go? Dear Evan Hansen.